Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Today we are going to look at how we can mount a Docker volume. First of all, why do we need to mount a Docker volume? The reason because when a container disposes, it will lose all the data within that container. One example is, say we have a PostgresQL database which is running in a container, and once we dispose that container, all the data within the Postgres database within that container will wipe away or will lose all the data. It means data in the container is not persistent. So that's the reason we want to mount a volume. One of the reasons, okay, we need to mount volume in container. Okay, it means when we mount a volume, all data we write to, in our case, if we write to PostgreSQL, will write in a persistent storage or in a persistent place within the host of the container. That is the reason we need a volume mount in Docker container. Okay, so that's what. And now let us jump straight into the lab, and we'll show you step by step how we can mount a volume in a Docker. Okay, let us do the same example which I've mentioned, that is running a PostgreSQL. Okay, so let me run the container first. We'll give it a name, maybe postgresdb. Okay, and the command to mount volume is -v. Then the place we need to store our data. Okay, let's name it as pgdb, maybe persistent. Okay, just a name. Okay, pgdb persistent is the directory name we are going to store our data, and that will map to the default location where Postgres writes data, that is within the container. Postgres write data under var lib PostgreSQL data. That's a place where Postgres by default write data within the container. What we are mentioning here is any data writes to this location, map it to pg persistent database, or whenever data, writing data to this location, write it to pgdb persistent. Okay, that's the command we mentioned here, and -v means mount volume. Okay, and we'll set an environment variable, that is the password of Postgres. We are not going to use password, but let's, this is how you can set environment variable. Let me zoom in password. Okay, and maybe test password. Okay, sorry, and let me zoom further. Yeah, and we can run it in a detached mode. Okay, so that we can proceed with other commands. Postgres. Okay, so you can see here. Okay, docker run, then --name. Name means name of the container. Then we mount the volume, and all data which is writing in this location will write it this place or this directory. Then we have set an environment variable and run in detached mode, that is d, then the name of the image. Okay, when we run this, it will go and get the image from, because we don't have the image installed. I don't remember, but I think I don't have that image in my machine. So because of that, it will go and get the image from Docker Hub, and it will install Postgres in our machine, and that runs. Okay, the reason because I already had that image installed, so that's the reason it ran pretty quick. And if you don't have that image, then it will go and get the image from Docker Hub. Okay, let us see, is it running? Okay, we can see Postgres is running fine. Okay, now let us do one thing. Let us get into Postgres, and we'll create a database, and we'll create a table, and we'll insert some sample data or some dummy data. Then we'll remove this container or we'll delete this container, then we will create a new container and we'll map the data which we have created to the new container. Then we'll make sure even when we delete the container, the data is still there. Okay, so let us do that. So the command to attach a shell to an existing process is docker exec, and we can run it in interactive mode. Then the name of the container, when we created the container, we given it a name postgresdb. You can see it here. Okay, or you can give container ID. Okay, but we have a name. That's the beauty of giving a name, because you can refer that container with name, not with ID. To refer a container with ID is pretty. You can imagine that is a bit pain. So postgresdb and open a shell, that's sh. So that opened a shell for us. Now let us create a db. The command is createdb with the user Postgres, and we can give the database name, say code with Vijay. Okay, a bit branding on my channel. Okay, that creates a db. Okay, now we need to connect to this database. The command is psql with user Postgres and the database name, that is code with Vijay. Okay, now it has connected to the db. Okay, and to see if there are any table already, that is -t if I'm correct. Okay, it did not find any relation. It means at the moment it that database doesn't have any relation. It means it doesn't have any tables. Okay, so we are going to create a new table now. Create table. Let's create maybe an employee table. Okay, with EmpId. The data type is int, and maybe name, that is varchar or varchar 50. Okay, just a simple table. Okay, and it has created the table. Now let us insert some sample data into this table. Okay, so insert into employee EmpId, then name. We will give some values. Okay, ID maybe 1 and name Vijay. Okay. Okay, it has inserted some data. Let us try to get data from this table. Okay, select start from employee. Okay, we can see the data has been inserted, and we can see the table. Even now when we say /t, it should show the table. We can see there is one table employee. Okay, so everything is ready. Now let us quit from this database, and we'll delete the container. Okay, after that we'll create a new container, and we'll try to attach this table or this database to the new container. Okay, let us do that. Okay, and the command to quit from this database is /. Okay, it has a quit, and then we can exit from this database. Okay, and let us make a note on the directory which we have created is pgdb persistent. Okay, okay, now we'll remove this container. Okay, so the command is docker rm, and we'll forcefully remove this container. That's -f, and the name of the container, that is postgresdb, and that container has been removed. Let us make sure docker ps, okay, no such container is running, or docker psa to list all container event which is stopped, and we can see okay, this is the image, okay, and yeah, there is no such container id. That you can see postgresdb1, that is something I have created before, that's the name of the container. The one we have created before is postgresdb. Let me remove postgresdb1 as well, okay, to avoid any confusion. Docker remove postgresdb1, and now when we look at docker psa, there is no container, okay. So we'll do one thing. Before that, I want to show something. The volume is still there or not. So docker volume ls will display all the volumes, and we can see here the volume is still there, pgdb persistent. It means when we deleted the container, that directory or the volume which we have created is still there. Okay, we are going to mount this volume to new container. Okay, so let us do that now, and the command is the same. Let me try to copy it from here to avoid any typing. Okay, and we'll give it a name, postgresdb new. Okay, here you can see the same command, pgdb persistent. What happened initially was when it was trying to mount volume, Docker identified there is no such directory pgdb persistent. Because of that, it will create a new volume with the name pgdb persistent. But now, as we already have that volume created, that directory created, then Docker identify, okay, there's such a directory already there, then it won't create anything new. Okay, that's what's going to happen. Okay, and remaining everything is the same. Okay, so we have created the new container now. Okay, let us connect to this one, docker, the same command, exec in interactive mode, and the name is postgresdb new and shell. Okay, now let us connect to the database. The database which we have created before was called with Vijay. So the command is psql, the same command which we have connected before, and Postgres, and the database name. Okay, now it is connected to code with Vijay. Let us try to get data from employee. Start from employee. Now we should get the data back. Okay, there you go. So it means even when we deleted the first container, the data is still there, and we can attach that data to our database to any newly created container. Okay, so we have proved that, and that's what that's the purpose of mounting volume, to make data persistent. Okay, let us quit from here, and I'll show you how to remove the volume even. Okay, so before that, let me quit from here. Okay, and exit, and when we let me clear the screen. Okay, and when we try to find the volume, we can still see the volume pgdb persistent is there. Okay, and to remove the volume, the command is docker rm docker volume rm, then the name of the volume, that is pgdb persistent. Okay, the reason, because that volume is in use, so we have to remove the container first, then we have to dispose this, or we have to delete this volume. Okay, so let me what is the name of the container that was postgresdb new. Okay, now let us remove this container. Docker remove forcefully, and name is postgresdb new. Okay, now the container has been removed. Let us try to remove the volume. Okay, there you go, the volume has been removed. Now when we try to find volume, we can find that has been removed. Okay, so that's the concept of mounting volume. And thank you very much for watching. In the comment section or in the description, I will add all these commands for you to try it out. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and if you like the video, please don't forget to subscribe the channel and click on the notification icon to get future notifications. Okay, and please don't forget to like the video as well if you really like it. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and have a nice time ahead.